Hi guys, welcome back to Foliage Loft. My name is Liam, and today we're outside of London, Ontario at Heeman's, which is a massive berry farm and plant nursery. I think we actually have a little interview with one of the family members who owns the property. I'm pretty excited to check it out. I'm probably going to do a little bit of plant shopping today. I might pick up a plant or two, so pretty excited. So let's go check it out. Okay, so we're here in Heeman's in their plant nursery in their houseplant area. I'm here with Will, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about Heeman's and what they're all about. Hi, Will.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Tell us a little bit about Heeman's, how long you've been around, and what you guys do here.
Okay, so Heeman's is a 3-generation family farm and greenhouse with an on-farm cidery, as well as a little place to get, aside from your produce, getting some ice cream and sundaes. We do it all under one location here. We've been here since 1963.
Wow.
And so if you eat lots of strawberries, you can look this good when you're 95. I'm kidding. So my grandparents were Dutch, and they emigrated from Holland, and so they moved around a little bit, and ultimately, as every good Dutch person did at that time, you either start a dairy farm or a greenhouse. So yeah. We're sitting in a greenhouse here now, and that was way back here at this location in '63, and it at that time had 1 cow and a ½ acre of strawberries. And wow. Today, the cow's not with us, but we have over 70 acres of strawberries that we grow here, as well as having raspberries, and we farm a whole bunch of different cash crops, as well as having the greenhouse, which is about 165,000 square feet. And at a peak we have about, we're here 12 months of the year, but at our peak we're up to about 150 staff serving everyone and basically everything you'd want related to plants or gardening.
Wow.
We have.
So you just about everything.
Just about everything. Everything you might need. That's
when it comes to plants.
Yeah.
Amazing. Would you say that the houseplant area is becoming more popular for you guys? Are you doing more business with houseplants, or is it always kind of steady?
Of course, houseplants is having a moment, as you would know. Yeah. Everyone who's watching this, I mean, is having a moment, right? So we have definitely seen a huge increase in the interest within the houseplant category. For ourselves specifically, it's grown tremendously for the last like 7-8 years, I would say.
It's been a while.
But for those early adopters,
yeah.
But it definitely, with the pandemic, we've seen a lot of people who were plant interested become plant crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, how could you not? You have a lot of time at home, so might as well make it a space that's enjoyable to be in.
For sure.
So yeah, at this time, you know, we're basically having a pretty good selection of houseplants and new shipments coming in from different suppliers through Canada, especially in the U.S., basically every week. And that's something that we've had pretty steady for the last couple years, being really good for a plant parent now. I think the number one thing that people are probably seeing is that they're getting every week. It seems like they can go into a nursery and find another one of the plants on their wish list or their lush list. You're like, oh my god, I got this one. And so our goal is to make it so that you can come in and actually strike some of those plants off your list.
Right. Yeah, so they're becoming more accessible, and especially some of these more, I guess, rare plants you might have considered a few years ago are becoming easier to find.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
It's very interesting how some plants have a moment. So, a couple years ago, Philodendrons were not significantly interesting to the majority of people. Mm-hmm. Even we were looking at
in
March of 2020, we were selling a pink princess philodendron in a 4-inch pot for $12.
Wow. And now
you can really get one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's just certain plants that come into interest. Succulents were really popular, and I would say now it's being replaced with little foliage plants of that same size, just being more interesting to people.
Yeah.
And I think it could be that Pokemon effect where it's I got that one, now I gotta get the next one. But
for sure, yeah.
I mean, our goal is to make sure that whatever it is that people are looking for, that we're gonna be able to source them and make that available to as many people in our area as possible.
And you guys grow a lot of your own plants here?
Yeah, if you were to look at Heeman's, we have a lot of greenhouses. We have a lot of people on our growing team, so we're doing a vast majority of our production there. For people who are interested in houseplants, we do grow some of our own houseplants, but as the trends are moving so quickly, we're working with a lot of our growers in Florida and buying directly out of those nurseries to fill that market for the majority of that product. But if you're looking for homegrown veggies or herbs or annuals or perennials, we have a significant amount of our production that goes into that, which maybe we'll go and see, or you'll be able to capture for people to kind of get that feel for it. But we do take advantage of being just outside of the city here in the country to be able to spread out to have a lot of that production. So we can grow them here. We used to have a sign in the 80s that would say like buy direct from the grower, and it was really one of those things that ultimately I think that people appreciate whether you're coming out to the farm to go to pick your own strawberries like people do here. Being able to come in and be able to shake the hand that's feeding you, or be able to talk with the people who are not only selling you the plants but have the proper conditions to care for them and know a detailed amount of information about the plants that you're buying, or because they've been grown here and you can basically source them direct. I think is something that's a niche that we're fitting for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Even with our houseplants, the majority of our people who work here in the houseplant area are part of that 100 plant club or 200 plant club. You know, so when somebody's there in your life telling you like you don't need one more, they're like, trust me.
Yeah, you need.
We get you. You can get one more. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to tell us maybe some of the most popular houseplants that you guys sell, or have you noticed like this year? Is there a certain?
So we can talk about that. There's some things that are just regularly popular all the time, and so we like to have your staples that are just always gonna be able to come in and get some cactus and some succulents.
Yeah.
Probably the one that is a workhorse. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of plants that come into vogue. Like right now, again. So all of the philodendrons, as I was just mentioning, are having a moment where it doesn't really matter. There's whether it's the giganteums that we have, or the cordatums, the cordatum lemon limes, or the Brazils, the micans, of course. But with the Hoyas and pothos, they're really popular at the moment, and we just can't sell enough pothos. And that I think that's awesome that people are really interested in plants that are affordable, accessible, and a good introductory.
Yeah, they're easy to take care of, right?
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than falling in love with a plant that's gonna hate you.
Yes.
Right, and you're like, oh my God, I love you so much. Why won't you return my love? And so pothos is fantastic for that. ZZ plants and snake plants as well. Like we have, at last count, 29 different varieties of Sansevieria. So that we could, whether you're interested in adding your first one or your 21st one, that you can have that accessibility in a really approachable plant family that's going to be easy for you to take care of. Right now, I would say that the things that are really coming online that a lot of people were maybe waiting for, and now all of a sudden you're just seeing them become really accessible, is like your micans. You're probably seeing micans everywhere. At least here, we're as many micans as we want to get now, we're able to access. And the Alocasias, for a long time, if we wanted to get some really cool Alocasias like the black velvets or the Fridex or the Mojito Colocasias, like we had to grow those. And now, whether it's like the Pink Dragon, or whether it's the Bambinos, or any of the other ones, you're able to, we're able to kind of source those. The Cuprias for $100 is like,
wow, that's a great deal,
not something that you would have seen even like 6 months ago. We would be selling like a red mambo for a pretty penny, and now those plants are starting to become more reasonable in price because finally the industry is able to bring up the tissue culture, or the divisions, or the breeding programs are starting to catch up with people's demand. So I mean, we're still waiting for those like really affordable Thai constellations and Albo and all the next, there's always another one. It's gonna take some time,
But
especially with those variegated foliage. It's just really hard to get the tissue culture down, and to be able to get that variegation stabilized in CC. So but I think it's gonna happen.
Very cool, and that's great for people who are into the hobby because it just makes it more accessible, right?
Yeah, I think that it's always great whenever we're able to make plants that are on people's wish list more accessible and more affordable. I think it's a win for everyone, because I'm sure that people follow a lot of plant accounts and they're like, oh my God, I love that one on their account. And then it's like $500. It's like, oh great, okay. And they might have one of the only like ones available in that province or state or whatever. But bringing plants to the masses at a reasonable prices, I think everyone's cool. Especially, it's definitely honorable.
Awesome. I've only seen like a tiny fraction so far of Heemans, but it's amazing the variety and like the health of the plants here. Everything looks amazing. Yeah,
well, we try to go through them regularly. I think one of the biggest things is making sure that if you are sourcing plants, or you're bringing plants in for consumers, that you're going to set them off on the right foot, where you're not only giving them something that they want, but you're giving them a healthy plant that's going to survive and thrive, because
Yes.
we're all about the relationship. I mean, we've been here for a long time, and if there's people who are coming into the industry as a new plant parent, we want to make sure that we can help them grow and be successful in their plant journey.
Yeah, and not get discouraged, right?
Especially not get discouraged, because I think that there's I mean, I'm preaching to the choir right now, but there's a lot to love about being a plant owner. We want to make sure that that's a good relationship. After chatting about houseplants for a while in the indoor area of Heeman's, Will took me to explore the rest of Heeman's, showing me where they showcase their outdoor plants. Then, after walking me through some of their greenhouse spaces, Will showed me some pretty special behind-the-scenes operations, including how they propagate and grow some of their own houseplants on location. Like this incredible Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which is the mother plant of a large number of cuttings that will eventually be for sale. I also got a sneak peek at this variegated Monstera Stanliana, which is going through the same propagation process. They also had a few variegated banana plants in this area, which are quite rare and expensive plants, and it was my first time seeing one of these beautiful plants in person. After Will showed me this area, I headed out to check out their display garden, which is a really beautiful garden set up for visitors to walk through and appreciate. There was a small stream flowing through a variety of plants, with pollinators busy at work, flying around and doing their thing. And from the top of the garden here, you get a great view of Heeman's and the scale of this place. This garden really shows the dedication, time, and effort that the whole Heeman's team have put in here, but after scrolling through the garden, we headed back to the houseplant area to wrap things up with Will.
All right, so thank you so much, Will, for showing us around. It's been really interesting seeing all the inner workings of a greenhouse and the whole operation here, so thank you so much. And you guys are open Monday
all the time.
Yeah?
So hours change. I mean, Google us.
Yeah.
The hours on there, the addresses on there, all that stuff, just, you know, Heeman's. But yeah, we're here almost 365 days of the year. So if you're ever in the area again, you know how to find us. If you're ever in the area, you can find us online and you'll be able to get here.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya.
But of course, I wasn't quite done yet. I had to decide what plants I wanted to take home with me. It was so difficult to decide, as they had a great selection, and I had to show a lot of restraint so I wouldn't empty my bank account here. But I ended up settling on a hanging cissus discolor, which is a plant I've had my eye on for a while. I love the pattern on the top side of these leaves, and the underside is a really beautiful, rich purple color. This plant definitely stands out in the sea of green foliage, and I look forward to hanging this one in my home. I also chose an Alocasia black velvet, another plant that's been on my wish list for quite a long time, and I was not able to find anywhere until I came to Heeman's. And the final plant that I purchased was this Tananti Luberciana. I really like the chunky variegation on this plant, which is also known as the golden mosaic plant. And of course, I had to pick up a few bottles of Heeman cider, which they brew in-house, and I haven't tried any yet, but I'm looking forward to pairing one of these with dinner this weekend. And that's going to be it for today's video. So I know this was a long one, so if you stuck around until the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate Will Heeman for hosting me today. It was really interesting chatting with someone so knowledgeable about the plant industry, and I think we got some great insights during our little chat. So make sure you guys hit that like button down below so that more people will see this video, and definitely subscribe to Foliage Loft if you'd like to see more content like this. Until next week, see ya.